The Southern California tournament paintball scene was facing an unprecedented wave of paintball guns getting stolen. These guns were going missing from tournaments and team practices, and this was the high-end stuff. They weren't just stealing spiders here. It wasn't until the thief made a mistake. He stole a marker that was given to an up-and-coming player by the godfather himself, Mike Hinman. And through Hinman's tireless efforts, he managed to identify the thief as well as get restitution for the victim. So strap in, this is Scotty here at Will Ball for Soup. We're going into another one regarding stolen guns. And this channel, it wouldn't be where it is today if I didn't hop on the mic and talk about how my teammate set me up for getting my guns stolen when I was a kid. So that video is a classic. It's got like 500K views. Go ahead and check that video out. But right now we're going to talk about Hinge's heroic efforts in getting this Lux recovered. This video would not have gotten off the ground without the generous support of FPS Paul and the Violence brand. I've been too busy interviewing for jobs, that type of bullshit. Haven't been able to film the homies. So now we got that premium FPS Paul footy. Let's lock in. The purpose of this video is not just to shame the alleged thief. I want to give you guys helpful tips that you can use to recover your marker in the event it does get stolen. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you guys is to take a photo of your serial number and then upload that somewhere, like your Google Drive, in the event that your phone gets stolen at the same time as your marker. As you're going to see in the story, Hinge used that serial number to identify the exact Lux that went missing. There are thousands of black with red parts Luxes, but only one of them will match the serial number that Hinge received from his sponsorship with DLX. The Lux in question went missing at the WCPPL. This is a major regional California tournament with hundreds of people in attendance, everyone from players to media to spectators. This is not necessarily a secured event. There's going to be open admission for everybody. Now, you're going to have a pit crew if you're playing such a big event. These are the people who fill your pods, who wipe your hits. They keep everything in motion. You're going to be so busy focusing on how to win the tournament, you may not have eyes on your equipment the entire time. So that's why I want everybody who's watching this video to sit down with their pit crew before their next event and explain to the crew that their job also includes keeping your paintball gear safe and secure. If there's somebody who's not on your team in your pits, or even worse, they have their hands on your gun and you don't even know who they are, those are major red flags, and your pit crew needs to nip that issue in the bud to prevent this from happening again. Once this Lux got stolen, it moved around the BST from player to player. And at this point, a lot of people who have their guns stolen, they lose track of it just because it changes hands so many times. So a new policy that we can put in place is to take a screenshot of whoever is selling you a marker that includes the price, the date, and their name. This is going to help you in case you get accused of being a thief. If you can show that you received the paintball gun from somebody else and you didn't just nab it from a paintball tournament, that's going to protect you. But that information is also going to help the victim identify who was the thief and who just had their hands on some hot merchandise inadvertently. After no less than 2 conversations with players who had their hands on this hot Lux, Hinman finally finds who he's looking for. Now, I'm not going to put this guy's name, what teams he's played for, his phone number. I'm not going to put all that shit out there because that's just low class. I'm not really using this as a personal attack on him, but it's pretty clear to me that this is the guy we're looking for. Now, this player competed at the WCPPL. He had access to Major's gun, and all signs point to him as the thief. Now, Hinge is asking this guy where he got the Lux from. So he's the initial person who sold it. It changed hands twice. So does he have any record of where this Lux came from, who he bought it from? And the answer is no. He's saying that he has no record because he just got a new phone. The reason why Hinman is so invested in this Lux is because when he blessed Major with it, he just gifted it to him. But he said that when Major can afford his own high-end marker, when he no longer needs this Lux, he's supposed to give it back to Hinman, who's going to give it to another up-and-coming player. This is beautiful, and it all got ruined from this shitty theft. So when you fuck with Mike Hinman, he's going to figure out what's up, and he's gonna throw the fucking book at you, dude. Just wait and see where this goes. When talking with the alleged thief, Hinman quickly picked up what's known in the legal world as prior inconsistent statements. Now, when the alleged thief was trying to sell the Lux to an unknown victim, he said that he was the original owner of the Lux and he bought it brand new. Now, when he's talking to Hinman, the alleged thief is saying that he got it used off of Marketplace. The other thing that makes this guy look even more suspicious is that this Lux was sold without its case and accessories, as the gun was also stolen without its case and accessories. Things are just not adding up. It's not looking good for this guy. The alleged thief is still maintaining his innocence at this point in time. He's telling Hinman that he received the marker on Marketplace, but he's still willing to make things right with Major. So if you're not guilty, why would you have a need or desire to make things right? That doesn't necessarily make sense to me, but I feel that in the spirit of fairness, it's the right thing for me to do to say that this player in question, despite the consequences he's facing, he is maintaining his innocence, and I think that's good journalism too. Mike Hinman is convinced that he's found his thief. From what I've seen in my preponderance of the evidence, I feel that the player in question is the thief. That's my opinion. I'm allowed to have opinions. Mike Hinman is the owner of the WCPPL, and this theft occurred at the WCPPL. Now, Hinman has hammered down a lifetime ban against this player. His career in the WCPPL is as good as over. I want you guys to go down in the comments. What do you think about this lifetime ban? Do you feel that the consequences were a little bit too severe? Or if you're like me, I think that this is perfectly appropriate because a lifetime ban at the WC makes sure that this guy's not going to show up to these events and yank another marker. And what's even crazier is that he tried to get Major another Lux, and this Lux had a missing barrel. And there's somebody who plays in the WC who's missing a Lux in that specific color that's specifically missing a barrel. Now, I know a lot of thefts are going to be pinned on this guy, like everything that goes missing, it's this guy, and that's probably not the case. But I wonder if he's trying to make things right with one stolen gun with another stolen gun, and that's absolutely fucking batshit crazy. As the story was breaking on Facebook, the player in question went to a successful WCPPL team's tryouts and was almost selected to play on their line. But this story got out, and the team that was trying this guy out and liked him, they liked him as a player. They heard the story and they decided to pass on him because what's the point of picking somebody up who cannot participate in the WCPPL if that's the focus of your team? Additionally, I know Hinge is trying to reach out to the NXL, to APPA, to make sure that they can get on board with a ban against this player. Much like myself, Hinge is a little bit rough around the edges. He's not always saying things that are politically correct, but he's a real one. To watch a league owner like him delve into this theft scenario and get this outcome and identify who's behind it, that's amazing, and I gotta tip my hat to Hinge. At the moment making this video, I am still sadly unemployed, but the last few days I've had a string of interviews, so things are chugging along, but they're chugging along slowly. And I hate to say it, I wish I could work in the paintball industry, but the things that I say and do has made that impossible. So that dream is gonna have to go in my back pocket while I sell out to a corporation just to feed myself and pay rent. Like, nobody's celebrating a corporate interview, but I gotta do it, man. I gotta go back to corporate, make some real big boy money, and just kind of take that next step in my life. But that doesn't mean that this channel is gonna stop. That doesn't mean that I'm not gonna be at the WCPPL next season where I belong, in that commentary booth. And I wanna thank Hinman for making it all possible for me. If you guys like this video, and if you've learned a thing or two about how to keep your paintball guns safe, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. This year, we're gonna have a lot more consistent content, all sorts of controversial topics, life stories, gear reviews, tournament footage, everything here on Will Ball for Soup. Tune in for the next upload, which should be in about 7 days from the time this drops, where we're going to do part 2 of the Soup Awards. That's going to focus on the most disappointing players and teams of last season in the NXL, as well as people who've punched above their reputation. So underrated players, underrated teams. That's going to be a very thought-provoking episode, and that's coming up soon. Thank you guys for sticking out this far. This is Scotty with Will Ball for Soup signing out.